Hey everyone, welcome back into the Great Plains podcast, where we talk about Great Plains athletes that coaches you need to know about. Get them on your list. Season's drawn to an end. 2026s are getting far and far in between. You better get your eyes on these guys. Please take my word for them. You'll notice today I'm wearing, for the podcast, I'm wearing a CHJ Elite. That's Chris Harris Jr. Elite. That is the greatest cornerback of all time. If you ask me, Denver Broncos corner that was the best of all time. And he was a KU grad. He's a proud KU guy. He sent me this shirt. They are going to be at many of the DR7 tournaments. So can't wait to see his guys play. We will be talking about some of the athletes on his team. But if you want to get some free pub on the podcast that goes out to a lot of people every month or every week, send me your shirts and I'll wear them during a podcast and give you some free pub. I've worn like Kansas Colts, Primate, Dimes University, their stuff. Send me your stuff. Just get with me on Twitter and find out where to send them, and I'll get them on where I'm on the podcast. So let's start off. I went to a game in Meriden, Kansas, which was Jeff West. That's where Jeff West is, Jefferson West. They have a wonderful turnaround on that team. They've had some rough luck. They brought in Jeff Schwinn, who was the offensive coordinator at Washburn University. And he has completely turned that program around in 1 year, less than a year, really. He's got them. They only have one loss. They play next week against Topeka Hayden for the conference title. So he's really got that team turned around, thanks to his actually two of his sons have helped it. Brody Schwinn, the receiver, I watched him at Washburn Rural growing up through middle school, and I thought he was just an absolute great quarterback. He guided that junior high or middle school team really well, and I thought, man, by the time this guy gets up to high school and varsity, he's going to be something special. Well, something happened, and Washburn Rural starts John Hoytel, and Brody gets moved to wide receiver. But when Jeff Schwinn took the job up in Meriden, up at Jeff West, he took his boy there, and so he shines up there. And then he has a freshman quarterback named Brixton, who wonderful size, delivers a wonderful ball. So in that game, Brixton really showed me that I believe he's a 2029. By the time that class rolls around, I believe he will be he will definitely be in the top 5 in the state for 2025 quarterbacks for the state of Kansas. But he had a wonderful game. Brody, of course, to me, he won MVP, offensive MVP. He had touchdown receptions of 7 yards, 34 yards, and 37 yards. He had several double-digit yardage receptions, and he also scored a 2-point conversion reception. They also had Creighton Holman, who is a 785 top city guy. Wonderful receiver. He had over 50 yards on 3 receptions. Really good game. He made some key plays on special teams as well. Creighton is he's a multiple facet player. He returns kicks. Just a really useful. You can play him anywhere on the field. That's Creighton Holman. And then they have a linebacker, Jackson De Silva. He was also on Top City 75 Most Wanted. He had double-digit tackles from his linebacker position, and he had at least 3 QB hurries. He also had a punt block, and which he recovered the ball. So Jackson De Silva had a wonderful game. To me, the overall player of the game was Corbin Mayer. He's a 2027 athlete. He had over 50 yards receiving, over 50 yards rushing. He had 2 touchdowns, one from 27 yards and one from 1 yard out. He wasn't satisfied with that offensive output. He on defense, he had a tackle for a 5-yard loss. He had a fumble recovery, which he returned 25 yards for a touchdown. And then he's also their place kicker. He scored 3 of 3 on extra points. So really good job, Jeff West. They played Atchison County. They won 50-12. Jeff West won 50-12. But Atchison had a really good game from 2026 running back linebacker Max Buttorf. He was their bright spot. He had 2 touchdowns. He's a strong breaking tackle runner. Yeah, his 2 touchdowns were 16 yards and 13 yards. So Jeff Schwinn over at Jeff West has really got them on the right track. Really, as a person that grew up in the Meriden area, I'm really proud of the turnaround that Jeff Schwinn has got going on there, and his 2 boys, really some of the state's best athletes there. Okay, so let's move on. Let's go directly into Kansas. 2027, Brody Sedlicek. He is a defensive end nickel out of Hanover. Now, first, let me talk to you about his stats. He had 6 solo tackles, 7 assisted tackles, 1 sack, 1 pass breakup, and I hope to see him in a Kansas Colt uniform. So, again, he plays for Hanover. Hanover won 26-18 over Axtell. Now, Axtell had won 58 games in a row. 58 games in a row, and Hanover beat them 26-18. Great effort by the Hanover team, snapping that long 58 game winning streak from Axtell. Then we go to 2026. You've heard him many times on this on the podcast. Bryce Alford. He's a quarterback out of Baldwin. They only played three quarters because of the weather. Shut them down, but they won 37-21 over Bishop Ward. And Bryce was 6 of 14, 206 yards passing, 2 passing touchdowns, 9 rushes. He had 50 yards on those 9 rushes, and he had 2 rushing touchdowns. Cordell Johnson, another guy that's always on, extremely fast track guy. 2027 out of Wichita Northwest. He's DB. He only played a quarter and a half against Wichita South because they blew him out. He had 3 tackles, 1 interception, and 1 pass breakup. You need to get in on Cordell Johnson. He is a speedy DB that can really help you. 2026 Cole Frank, running back linebacker out of Wabaunsee. He had 35 carries for 195 yards. He had 3 2-point conversions, and then on defense he had 12 tackles. Braden Pappas, you've heard him many times on here. 2026 Goddard Eisenhower. He is the fastest person in Kansas. I know that because of his camp. All the camps that he goes to, he's always the fastest guy. He had 38 carries, 263 yards. He also had 4 catches for 58 yards, and he had 321 all-purpose yards. And he just had a visit at Independence that went really well. 2027, Maddox Gerard, linebacker, Salinas South, 6 tackles, 4 tackles for losses, and 1.5 sacks. Maddox Gerard out of Salinas South. 2026, Cody Wright, my favorite nickel linebacker in the state, out of Colby. He had 248 all-purpose yards with 4 touchdowns. He had 17 carries, 114 yards, and 3 rushing TDs. Then he had 5 receptions for 134 yards and 1 reception TD. Then he also had 7 tackles and 1 tackle for loss. Again, he's my favorite linebacker nickel out of Colby. Cody Wright, he's a 2026. A lot of teams are in on him, so you better get to talking to him if you haven't already. 2026 Colton Weisguth, tight end out of Blue Valley West. He is a 6'3", 230-pound tight end. He He had 5 catches for 137 yards and 3 touchdowns. Blake Thomas. Now, this is a kid that I've talked about a couple times on the show. He's a 2029. He is going to be easily top 5 recruit in the state of Kansas in the 2029 class. He's a running back, wide receiver, DB out of Blue Valley Southwest, and he trains at Gridiron Fit. Against DeSoto, he had 5 catches for 161 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns, with one of those being an 80-yarder. And he had 231 all-purpose yards. As a freshman in the EKL in receiving yards with over 1,000 yards. Now, when I say he's a leading receiver of EKL, that's huge because East Kansas League is probably the best league out of all the classes, entire state. That's probably the biggest and best league. So he leads it as a freshman with over 1,000 yards. Again, that's Blake Thomas out of Blue Valley Southwest. And then I go to 2026 Conrad Gomez, quarterback out of Junction City. Top City Most Wanted guy. He has had a huge win over Washburn Rural. Great game between two really good teams there. He was 16 of 28 for 183 yards and 2 passing TDs. Had a really good game, really important game. Kept Junction City right in there for a good spot in the playoffs. So we got 2026 Reese Tolar. He's a quarterback out of Cheney. Listen to these numbers. Quarterback out of Cheney. He's 6'4", 220. And he was 20 of 33 with 184 yards passing with 3 passing touchdowns. He had 15 carries for over 100 yards with 3 rushing TDs. Then he had 1 catch for 55 yards. He had 1 interception on defense, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. So 4 touchdowns for him. 2027 Brenton Findley, outside linebacker, Andover Central. He had 18 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 2 pass breakups with 1 acrobatic pass breakup that actually saved the game for them. So really good job, Brenton Findley out of Andover Central. Then we got 2026 Camario Davis, running back, Manhattan. Get in on him now. He had 15 rushes, 160 yards for 3 touchdowns and 1 2-point conversion. Next week he's up here at Washburn. I'm going to go watch him play, and we'll see if he can match those numbers again. Again, that's Camario Davis, running back out of Manhattan, 2026. Get in on him, I'm telling you. 2027, one of my favorite guys, 2027 Jason Rush, wide receiver DB out of Olathe North. He is a track guy. He's a return specialist. Now against Free State, Lawrence Free State, who was one of the top teams in the entire state, he had 2 catches for 95 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. So what that means is he had 2 catches and both of them went for touchdowns with 95 yards total. Again, he plays for Building Champions 7-on-7. Jason Rush out of Olathe North. 2026 Rajion Shears, linebacker out of Derby. 8 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 interception, and 2 tackles for loss. He's a guy from Derby that Derby is, again, one of the top teams in the state. He needs to get recruited as well. Really good 2026. 2027 quarterback Rain Ilian. Talked about him a lot on the show. May South versus Derby. He was 29 of 47 with 474 yards passing, 4 passing touchdowns, and he also ran the ball 46 yards running the ball. Caleb Peterson, defensive end, edge rush out of Blue Valley Northwest. He's a 2026, 6'3", 240 D end. And this is versus the number 1 team in the state, regardless of class, St. Thomas Aquinas. He had 16 tackles, 1 fumble recovery, and 16 tackles, I'd have to tell you, is really big time versus St. Thomas Aquinas. So Caleb Peterson, edge rusher out of Blue Valley Northwest. 2026 William Voos, running back, Sabetha. You've heard me talk about him many times. 6 platform list, top uncommitted. We have a list of our top uncommitted 2026s, and he is on the top of my list nationally. You gotta find him. I'm telling you, coaches. William Voos out of Sabetha. Don't lose your job because you didn't recruit this guy and you got beat by him, and your AD finds out, hey, Buckus told you about him. Why didn't you get in on him? William Voos, 2026 running back out of Sabetha. He had in one quarter, he had 5 carries for 137 yards and a touchdown. That's 27 yards per carry. 5 carries for 137 yards and a touchdown in one quarter. Next, we got a guy that I've been following for a long time, ever since he was a freshman. Really awesome young man. Arius Finley, 2027 running back out of Derby. Just a great young man. He has offers from South Dakota and Tennessee State. He had 12 carries for 206 yards, 3 rushing TDs, and I believe he's the next great Wichita running back. Wichita puts out running backs. There's a running back factory down in Wichita. They have Barry Sanders, Brees Hall, Dylan Edwards, and Joseph Randall. I think Arias is going to be the next big guy out of Wichita. Then we go to 2026. He may be my new favorite quarterback in the state of Kansas. 2026, Brody Hale, quarterback out of Olathe West. He has that team rolling. In fact, I would dare to say they may be the 6A front runner to win the state this year with Brody Hale guiding them. Against Shawnee Mission East, he had 120 yards passing with 3 touchdown passes, and he ran the ball 57 yards with a rushing TD. Again, it's Brody Hale, Olathe West. Watch for them to take state. 2026, Jackson Myers, wide receiver out of Salinas South. He is a sharp performance trained guy, so you know he's going to be awesome. In one half, Jackson had 4 catches for 164 yards, 4 touchdown receptions. 2027, Max Piva, running back out of Mill Valley versus Olathe Northwest. He broke school rushing records by 70 yards. He had 403 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. That's Max Piva out of Mill Valley. He is a 2027, so you still got time to move in on him. Max Piva, Mill Valley, 2027. 2026, Mason Von Velt. He's a quarterback out of Shawnee Mission West. He had 225 yards passing, 112 yards rushing, and 2 TDs. So that's a pretty good dual threat right there. Mason Von Velt out of Shawnee Mission West. Then we end Kansas with 2026, Ian Premer. He's a tight end out of Great Bend. You probably heard of him. He's one of the top recruits in the nation. He is a Notre Dame commit. He has Great Bend at 7-0 after their 43-19 big win over Hayes. Remember last podcast I told you that was going to be a huge game. Ian Premer had 5 touchdowns in that game. So let me tell you about those. 12-yard touchdown run, 53-yard Wildcat TD run. He also added a 4-yard Wildcat TD run. Then he had a 64-yard receiving touchdown. And at the end of the game, he had a pick 6 TD interception. So what I want to say is the last year or so, we had Deshaun Brame and Lincoln Cure, and now we have Ian Premer. Of those 3, Deshaun Brame had Derby almost at state, just winning games left and right. Ian Premer, same thing, just win. That's all he did is help Great Bend win. Lincoln Cure, who's at K-State, he only guided their team to, I want to say, 4 wins. Look, if you're the number 1 tight end in the nation, you're going to take over games. That's what Ian Premer did, and that's what Deshaun Brame did. If you're the number 1 recruit in the nation, and you only win 4 games, you get where I'm going. So anyway, I really hope Ian Premer does really great at Great Bend. At Notre Dame, pulling for him. So great job, Ian Premer. Then we go to Missouri, where I have just a great young man out of St. Michael's the Archangel. He is a kicker, wide receiver, and DB. It's Max Thomas. He's a 2026. He is a 5-star kicker. Out of he's a Coles kicker in a 72-8 win he had a huge game. He was 10 of 11 for extra points. That one miss was it wasn't a miss, it was a block. So 10 of 11 for extra points. He had a 53-yard field goal, which was a school record. He had 13 points kicking, which was a school record. And the 10 extra points were also school records. So he had made in this game he broke 3 school records: 10 extra points, the longest field goal, and the number of points kicking. All 3. So great job, Max Thomas, out of St. Michael's the Archangel. Next, we have one of my favorite quarterbacks out of the state of Missouri, Jake Nichols. He's a 2028 quarterback out of St. Pius X. He played for Strongside KC, where I watched him many times. He had a big game versus Festus. Festus is a great Missouri team, really tough team. He was 17 of 26 with 216 yards and 4 passing touchdowns. Jake Nichols he's a 2028. So you have time to get in on him as well, but you need to get there because he's going to start getting a lot of offers here pretty soon. Like I said, I've been watching this guy since he was 15U, and he has it. Okay, he has a kicker at St. Pius X, 2026, Frankie Kapitonovich. Now he is a 4.5-star kicker, 4-star punter, and he is the number 28 punter in the country. In that game versus Festus, Frankie had a wonderful game. He was 6 of 6 for extra points, 1 of 1 on onside. He was 2 of 2 for field goals. One was a 22-yarder and the other one was a 31-yarder. And he was 7 of 7 on touchbacks. So that's Frankie Kapitonovich out of St. Pius. Then we go to 2027, Giles Kearns. He's a kicker, punter, cornerback, wide receiver out of Pembroke Hills. He is probably the most versatile athlete they have up in Pembroke Hills. He's a 6'5", 200-pound 4-star kicker. He had a 37-yard field goal with 2 touchbacks. He was 1 of 1 on PATs. That's all kicking. But also he had an interception, double-digit tackles, and one of the most versatile athletes at 6'5", 200 pounds. He is wonderful young man. 27, so you have a year to get in on him. Then I want to go to the Platte County. You heard me talk about Platte County on all my episodes. They had a game stopped by lightning. They were up 70-6. Platte County, okay, get this. Platte County scored 10 touchdowns on 11 snaps. 10 touchdowns on 11 snaps. Ty Christopher, who you've heard me talk about on here, he had a return on special teams for a touchdown. And Carlos Baskerville, he had a pick 6 to add to those 10 TDs. But 10 touchdowns on 11 snaps. So now I want to talk about their quarterback, who I talk about every episode. 2026 Rocco Marriott. He's a quarterback. As I told you, he's a James Madison commit. About 2 weeks ago, he got an offer to West Virginia, and this week he got an offer from Central Florida. So I would really love to see him take one of those, but I'd really like to see him in Orlando. In 2 quarters, he was 8 of 9, 206 yards with 5 touchdowns. That's 8 of 9, 206 yards with 5 touchdowns. Of that, he becomes only the 8th player in Missouri 11-man football to throw for over 100 yards or 100 touchdowns. So great honor for Rocco Marriott. 8th player in Missouri to throw for 100 touchdowns. Then they had one of my favorite running backs, Adam Geisler, the 2026 running back, many times on the show. He only played in 1 quarter in the blowout. Okay, he had 2 carries, 90 yards with 2 touchdowns. So both times he carried the ball, he's got a touchdown and he ran for 90 yards. 45-yard average ain't too bad. Adam Geisler, just a great running back. Then I want to go to close out Missouri with 2027 Chase Behringer. He's a quarterback out of Rockwood Summit. He's the quarterback of Falcon Elite 7-on-7. He was 8 of 13 with 111 yards passing with 1 TD. And he is one of my favorite quarterbacks of one of my favorite Missouri 7-on-7s, that Falcon Elite team. One of my favorites. So Chase Behringer, Rockwood Summit. Let's go down to Minnesota, where I always talk about their 6'12 quarterbacks. 6'12 QB is a wonderful, if you are a quarterback in Minnesota, you are going to 6'12 because they train you to be the best. And I've talked about both of these guys on the show many times. That's because they're so good, because of 6'12. 2026 Kyler Tom, quarterback out of Minneapolis Southwest. This is his end of the season stats, okay? Not for just this week, but this is the end of his regular season. He is 119 of 198 for 1,752 passing yards and 20 passing touchdowns. He had 324 rushing yards and 2 rushing TDs. Now, I want you to think about this. Like I said, he was 119 of 198 passing. He only had 3 interceptions. So 198 attempts and only 3 interceptions. That's pretty good. Then I go to 2026 Isaac Johnson, quarterback Cretan Durham Hall. For his game, he had 408 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. So great job, Isaac Johnson and Kyler Tom, 6'12 quarterbacks out of Minnesota. Then we go to Illinois, 2027 Jack Zabin. He's a kicker out of Libertyville. He is the number 12 kicker in the nation. Jack Zabin, he's a number 12 kicker in the nation, and he's a number 17 punter in the nation. In his game this week, he kicked the 4th longest field goal in Illinois' history with a 57-yard field goal. So just want to give Jack Zabin of Libertyville. He's a 2027, and he 4th longest field goal in Illinois' history, and he's a number 12 kicker and number 17 punter. So if you are needing a good leg, get him. All right, staying in Illinois, we have 2026 Jaden Crawford. He's a running back out of Metamora High School. He is a 3-star running back and a Northern Illinois commit. He had 181 rushing yards with 6 TDs. 2027 Dallas Harder, running back, linebacker out of Notre Dame High School. He had 9 carries for 197 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he also had 7 tackles. So he can play either side of the ball. Dallas Harder out of Notre Dame High School. He's a 2027. Then we go to 2028. Malik Carter, quarterback out of Huntley. 23 of 28 for 330 yards passing with 5 touchdown passes. Malik Carter out of Huntley. He's a 2028. Then we go to 2026. Lizelle Edmond. He's a wide receiver out of Bobanius High School. He is a Pitt State commit down in southwest Kansas. He had 4 catches for 151 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns in a win over Lincoln Way. Then I want to go to one of my favorite quarterbacks, 2027 Colin Schweigen, quarterback out of Rock Ridge, in a 48-12 win over Monrose. He was 7 of 14, 170 passing yards and 2 passing TDs. He also had 9 rushes for 32 rushing yards and a rushing TD, so he's quite the dual threat. Again, Colin Schweigen out of Rock Ridge. I am hoping to see him on a 7-on-7 team, if that's the route he chooses. So if any of these teams are needing a quarterback up around Illinois, he kind of sits on that Illinois-Iowa border. If you're looking for a great quarterback, Colin Schweigen, have him come out to your tryouts. Then we go to Michigan, Cam Payne. He's a 2027 running back linebacker out of Byron Center. In a win versus Forest Hills, he had 180 yards rushing, 25 yards receiving, 4 total TDs, and he has offers from Toledo and Minnesota. That's 2027 Cam Payne out of Byron Center. 2027, you've heard me talk about this guy on a lot of episodes. Drayson Foster. He is a quarterback out of Coldwater High School. He's 20 of 32 for 295 yards with 3 passing TDs and 2 rushing TDs. Now he trains at Quarterbacks University, and he's trained by Donovan Dooley and Connor Sampson. So this Jason Foster out of Coldwater, he's a 2027. 2026, Cedric Williams, running back, Detroit Catholic Central West, in a win over Grand Ledge. He had 17 carries for 121 yards. 28, Jack Cost. He is a linebacker out of Becker High School, and against Detroit Lakes, in only his second varsity start, he had 4 tackles, 2 pass breakups, 1 fumble recovery, 1 forced fumble, and an interception. Again, it's 2028, Jace Coste, and let me spell that last name, Koste, and it's Jace, Jace, out of Becker High School, 2028, and he had 4 tackles, 2 pass breakups, 1 fumble recovery, 1 forced fumble, and an interception in only his second start. So great job. 2026, Eduardo Casares. He's a running back out of Ann Arbor Pioneer. He had 16 carries for 120 yards and 1 touchdown. For the season, he is over 1,000 yards. Eduardo Casares out of Ann Arbor Pioneer. Then we go to Ohio, where we have 2026 Coop Heimbach. Many mentions on the Great Plains Show. He's a kicker out of Wheelersburg. He is a 5-star kicker, a Coles kicker. He was 6 of 6 on point afters, 2 of 2 for field goals of 22 and 41, and he was 8 of 9 on touchbacks. Staying in Ohio and staying at the kicking position, we have 2026 Thomas Vanderpool out of Norwalk. He's a 4.5-star kicker, a 4-star punter, and in a 31-28 win. Okay, 31-28 win. He was 5 of 5 on touchbacks, 4 of 4 on PATs, but he kicked the game-winning 15-yard field goal in that 31-28. So he's clutch. Thomas Vanderpool, 2026 out of Norwalk. So Coop Heimbach or Thomas Vanderpool out of Ohio. If you need a kicker, get with them. Then let's go to Iowa. 2027, Emory Jones. He's an athlete out of Johnston High School. In their win versus Southeast Polk, he had 28 carries, 175 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Then we go to 2026, Cale Roush. He's a quarterback out of Ankeny. For the game, he was 315 yards passing with 3 passing touchdowns. For the season, he's 109 completions on 175 attempts for 1,264 yards and 18 passing TDs. Again, it's Cale Roush. Now, he's out of Ankeny. I love Ankeny High School because J.J. Cole, who originally signed with Iowa State, he transferred to Appalachian State, and he's at Appalachian State right now. Back in 2022, at a 7-on-7, I found J.J. Cole and was immediately impressed with him. And he went to Ankeny High School, so that's why I like Ankeny. Been a big fan of them ever since J.J. Cole back in 2022. I scouted him. 2026, Ian Middleton. He's a running back out of Dowling Catholic. He had 160 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, 2027 quarterback, you've heard him on every episode because he's one of my favorite quarterbacks nationwide. Reese Wheeler, quarterback, Iowa City West. Saw this kid 14U, knew it. I knew he just had it, and I've been following him ever since. And sure enough, he's one of the best quarterbacks. Definitely one of the top quarterbacks in Iowa. Again, he's 2027, so get to know him. Reese Wheeler, quarterback, Iowa City West. He was 10 of 17 for 246 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. For the season, Reese is 77 completions on 128 attempts for 1,700 yards, 17 touchdown passes, and again, he's only thrown 3 interceptions in 128 attempts. So very accurate. Reese Wheeler, 2027 out of Iowa West. Really one of my favorite guys. Let's move down to Arkansas, where we have 2026 Barrett Miller, running back out of Mountain Home. He's been on a couple episodes versus Siloam Springs. He was 33 carries for 216 yards and 5 touchdowns. And he also added 3 catches for 83 yards. That's Barrett Miller, Mountain Home. 33 carries, 216 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Staying in Arkansas, Enoch Assen, 2026 running back out of Greenbrier. 14 carries for 202 yards, 5 touchdowns versus Almond. Then we had 2027 Kane Price. I mentioned him on the last show, I want to say. Kane Price, quarterback out of Stuttgart, 6'2", 190 pounds. Again, he's 2027 at 6'2", 190 pounds. He's a dual threat quarterback in a 52-28 win over Monticello. He was 21 of 31 for 310 passing yards and 3 touchdown passes. Trey Thompson, a 2026 quarterback out of Bentonville West, where they raise quarterbacks in Bentonville, Fayetteville, Springdale, right around there the area. Trey Thompson is a 2026 Bentonville West in their win over Springdale Harbor, 41-14 win. He had 200 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. 2026 Nickel Lewis is the running back out of Hamburg. He is an Austin Peay commit. He had 150 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns versus in their win over Crossit. 26 Austin Riggs is a slot receiver out of Van Buren. He is the number 1 in receiving yards in Arkansas with 906 yards, and he is the number 1 receiving touchdowns in Arkansas with 10. So Austin Riggs is a slot out of Van Buren. He's 2026. He is the number 1 receiving yards in Arkansas with 906 and number 1 in touchdowns in Arkansas with 10 touchdowns. 2026 Kevin Williams, he's a running back linebacker out of Joe T. Robinson. He had 19 carries for 228 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns, and 11 tackles. So let's go down to Oklahoma, which is Chris Harris Jr. Elite territory. We have 2026 Stone Turner, a wide receiver out of Union. He plays for Hustle Inc. 7-on-7, an extremely good 7-on-7 program that come to all of our DR7 tournaments. Hustle Inc. is one of the mainstays at our DR7 tournaments. So Stone Turner, wide receiver out of Union, he set 2 school records in this game. He had 226 yards receiving and 4 touchdown receptions, both school records. So 226 yards receiving in this game and 4 touchdown receptions. Again, both are the Union school records. He has a offer from Colorado State. 2026 Stone Turner out of Union. 2028 Corey Sango. He's a running back out of Broken Arrow. Now he took the most of this opportunity after Broken Arrow's starter Octavian Robertson got hurt against West Norman in his win over Norman North. He had 187 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns and 200 all-purpose yards. So way to be ready to go. Corey Sango, Broken Arrow running back. Now, Broken Arrow, I want to talk to about Broken Arrow. They have a 2029 quarterback on their JV team. You have to understand Broken Arrow is a huge successful team, and they have somebody playing quarterback right now. But this kid coming up is Boston Hamilton. He plays for Chris Harris Jr. Elite, and really keep an eye on Boston Hamilton. Now these are his JV numbers. He is also a 2-star quarterback already as of 2029. In his last 2 games versus Union, he was 6 of 6 for 207 yards and 2 touchdowns. And against Bixby, he was 8 of 10 for 180 yards and 3 touchdowns. So Boston Hamilton is a 2029 quarterback coming up in the Broken Arrow school. Again, get this quarterback on your list. Then we go to 2026 Jace McIntosh. He is a linebacker out of Sapulpa. In their 22-0 win over Ponca City, he had 14 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 1 sack, and 1 pass breakup. So those are some huge numbers. 14 tackles, 3 tackle for losses, 1 sack, and 1 pass breakup. Now, Sapulpa, I haven't spoken about him lately. I want to say like my first 3 or 4 episodes I spoke about this guy. 2029 Brody Chalaki. He is the tight end at Sapulpa. He is get a load of this, 2029 freshman, 6'6", 220, freshman. And he is my number one tight end of the future. He is a Chris Harris Jr. elite. That's where I first saw him. Saw him at his DR7 tournament. And this guy, I'm telling you, he is going to be the next Brock Bowers. I'm telling you. Brody Chalaki out of Sapulpa, 6'6", 220 as a freshman. And he high points the ball, strong hands. He's a really great route runner. Come out to a DR7 event and watch Chris Harris Jr. Elite, and you'll see Brody, and you'll see why he is my surefire D1 Power 4 recruit. I promise you. Let's end Oklahoma with 2026 Kenny Golston. He's a running back linebacker out of Valiant. He's a C4 7-on-7. Another just like Hustle Inc. and Chris Harris Jr. Elite. Huge successful 7-on-7 teams. The C4 plays in all the DR7 tournaments. Kenny Golston he's the number one running back in Oklahoma. He is an Idaho Vandals commit. So I really look forward to watching him play for Idaho Vandals. 14 carries, 143 yards, 4 touchdowns. Then on defense, he had 2 solo tackles, 4 assisted, 2 tackles for loss, and 1 interception. He's a big guy, very mobile for his size. I think he's going to be wonderful in Idaho. Wonderful. And I'm very proud to know him from the DR7 tournaments. Let's go back up to South Dakota. 2029 Brayson Parmalee. He's a quarterback out of West Central versus Elk Point. He was 15 of 20 for 350 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, and he plays for Midwest Miners 7-on-7. So I'll be interested to watch him play. Really looking forward to him. He's a 2029 freshman playing varsity and for West Central. 15 of 20 for 350 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown. Then we got 2028 Tyler Klausick. He is a wide receiver cornerback out of Dakota Valley versus Vermillion. He had 9 catches for 102 yards, and he also had 1 pass breakup and 3 tackles on defense. Then we will go to Colorado, one of my favorite places other than Florida. One of my favorite places to go to watch football. 2027 Marquise Reese. He's a quarterback out of Mountain Vista. He's trained by Ben DiNucci in a 62-7 win over Frutia Monument. He was 14 of 16, really accurate. 14 of 16 for 296 yards and 5 passing touchdowns. Marquise Reese out of Mountain Vista. 2026, you've heard me talk about him on dang near every show. He is my number one running back on the bucket list. If you missed that article, it is on the platform where I rank my top 3 mid-season players. He was my number 1 running back in the nation on the bucket list. He played for Team Full Gorilla 7-on-7. One of my favorite, them and Ducks 7-on-7 are my 2 favorite Colorado teams. He is a 3-star running back. He had 7 carries for 181 yards with 4 rushing touchdowns. That's Jaden Fox out of Cherry Creek. 2027, Kellen Brown. He's a linebacker out of Legends High School. In a 56-13 win over Fountain Fort Carson, he had 10 tackles, 7 assisted, 3 solo, 1 sack, and 2 tackles for loss. Then we have, to close out Colorado, 2026, Zeke Andrews. He's a quarterback out of Ralston Valley. Versus Columbine, he was 21 of 27 for 273 yards and 2 passing TDs. He also had 10 rushes for 100 yards and 1 rushing TD. Now, I know I talked about this on another show with Zeke. He's a quarterback out of Ralston Valley. Why I want to bring up that he was from Ralston Valley so much is because Logan Madden was a quarterback for Ralston Valley. He played for Team Full Gorilla. and I got to know him really, really well. And just by the grace of God, he signed with Washburn here in Topeka. So he was one of my favorite quarterbacks, and I got to meet him and talk to him again here in Topeka at Washburn. He had his first start at Washburn Saturday. He was 20 of 31 for 231 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and he also had a 10-yard rushing touchdown in a 37-17 win over Central Missouri. Logan got his chance, and he absolutely did me so proud. So great job, Logan Madden at Washburn. He showed that, again, he was a backup, and he got given the chance. He stuck with that Washburn program, and I'm so proud of him for sticking with them. And he finally got his chance, and he did that. So great job, Logan. So proud of you, buddy. So with that said, we want to go down to Florida. Now, when I bring up these Florida guys, even though this is Great Plains and you coaches around here, a lot of the coaches that watch this are in the Great Plains region. Please note that 90% of these Florida guys I've talked to, and they are 100% willing to come up north and enter the Central Plains, because I've stressed to them and I've shown them the graphic that you're going to see. I've expressed to them, this is where we play championship football. Every single champion team in football in 2025, in 2024 was from Kansas at Hutchinson up to the Canadian border and in this Great Plains region. These Florida guys, they will come up here. So if you want to get a hold of them, they will come play for you. Don't look at these guys and don't listen to me talk about them and say, well, they're from Florida, they're going to play down there. No, they will come up here, okay? Get with me or holler at their coaches, but they will come up here to play. I promise you, they've told me they will. So let's start off. 2028, Tony Duke Brown. He's a wide receiver out of Eastridge. He plays for Prime 8, who I've talked about many times. Prime 8, 707. He had 4 catches for 250 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Here's a guy that I found at 707 in the Villages down in Florida. He played for 352 Reapers. 7-on-7, it is 2026 Hunter Schaller. He's a linebacker nickel out of Vanguard High School. He had 12 tackles, 2 pass breakups. He has offers from Albany State, West Georgia, UT Martin, and Arkansas State. And this weekend he visited South Florida. So Hunter Schaller is an really aggressive linebacker, really good cover linebacker. As proof of the 7-on-7, he had a wonderful tournament there. I think he had 2 or 3 picks, multiple pass breakups. What I like about Hunter is that when they play the zone, he doesn't follow his receiver through the zone and out of his zone, vacating his zone. He knows his boundaries for the zone, and he'll hand off the receiver or running back to the next zone. He plays his zone really, really, really good. So Hunter Schaller is a linebacker nickel out of Vanguard. Then we have 2028 AJ Chung. I mentioned him, I believe, last week. He's a quarterback out of West Orange. He is trained by Balin Trujillo, who is the best quarterback trainer in the entire nation, if you ask me. Balin Trujillo out of Florida. He's 15 of 23, 250 yards, 4 touchdown passes. He had 32 touchdown passes over 8 games. AJ Chung, West Orange. 2027 Prime 8 7-on-7 star Karmari Solomon, wide receiver DB out of Oviedo High School. He had 3 catches for 33 yards and 1 touchdown. He had 3 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and a pass breakup. So he had an all-around great game. 33 yards and a touchdown, 3 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and 1 pass breakup. Ben Lekowski is a quarterback out of Cambridge Christian. He's a 2026. What I want to say about him is he has a 5.40 grade point average. He is in their 51-0 win. He was 8 of 11 for 150 yards, and 2 passing touchdowns. Again, that's Ben. I'm going to spell his last name. Lejkowski. SKI. 5.40 grade point average at Cambridge Christian. 2027, Cole Emmanuel, wide receiver out of Edgewater High School. He reported to me. I don't have his stats, but I just want to let you know that Cole Emmanuel, the wide receiver at Edgewater, 2027, reported to me that he has a UConn offer. So I just want to tell Cole Emmanuel, very good job. 2028, he is my number 1 quarterback on the bucket list out of Florida. He is 2028, Michael Pine, Tampa Alonzo. You heard me talk about him on every show that I can. Again, a prime 8 quarterback. 12 of 18 for 204 yards, 1 passing touchdown. He had 6 rushes for 33 yards and 1 rushing touchdown. Again, he's a 2028. He has multiple D1 Power 4 offers. Michael Pine, Tampa Alonzo, great young man. Know his father as well. Really good family. 2027, Brody Brenneman, quarterback out of Lakeland Christian. He is 42 of 28. Win against American Heritage. He was 18 of 22 for 171 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 2 rushes for 9 yards, and 1 rushing touchdown. 2027, Aaron Trudell. He's a running back, also out of Lakeland Christian with Brody Brenneman. He had 200 yards rushing, 1 rushing touchdown in their 42-18 win over American Heritage. So Lakeland Christian had Brody Brenneman as quarterback and Aaron Trudell as a running back. Really good performance in their 42-18 win over American Heritage. 2028, Jacob McDonald is a wide receiver out of Lake Brantley versus University High School. He was 4 catches for 109 yards and 1 touchdown, and he had a Texas A&M visit this weekend. Then we go to this guy's probably not going to be too big of a surprise because he has over 30 offers all around the nation. Every Power 4 D1. I want to say he's leaning towards Miami, but I'm not sure. I'd have to talk more to him. He is a prime 8, 7-on-7. He also played for Raw Miami as well in OT7, but he plays for prime 8 for the most part. He's 2028. Amir Sears, he's a wide receiver DB out of West Broward. He had 2 catches for 96 yards and 1 touchdown reception. Then he also had 3 pass breakups. Again, over 30 offers. Amir Sears, prime 8, 7-on-7. I can't wait to watch him play down there and see him. 28, Trip Foot. He's a middle linebacker safety out of Calvary Christian. He is prime 8, 7-on-7. He had 9 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 forced fumble. And he is Larry Foote's son. The Larry Foote, the Pittsburgh Steelers, great. 2028 Trip Foot, middle linebacker safety out of Calvary Christian and plays for prime 8, 7-on-7. Again, he 9 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 forced fumble. 2026 Sincere McClinton, running back out of Clearwater High School, had 20 carries for 178 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, in a 48-10 win over East Lake. 2028 Joey Cassidy is a quarterback out of Carrollwood Day School in a 40-7 win over Tampa Catholic. He only played 2 quarters because of that 40-7 blowout. He was 18 of 20 for 300 yards with 3 passing touchdowns. Then I want to go to one of my favorite wide receivers in the state of Florida. Saw him last year when he played for All the Smoke. He is 2028 King Rivera. He's a wide receiver out of Durant. He will be playing for All the Smoke has a team out now, Tampa Flex 7-on-7. I cannot wait to watch Tampa Flex play at DR7 tournaments, and I really can't wait to see King Rivera again. He had 7 catches for 109 yards and 2 touchdown receptions in their win for Durant. Durant is on a really nice projection path because of players like King Rivera. Durant's got a nice future. I'd say next year they're going to be pretty good at Durant. 2028, King Rivera. Yeah, again, he'll play for Tampa Flex 7-on-7. 7 catches for 109 yards, 2 touchdown receptions, so he's their go-to guy. And I think, we have 2028, David Hunter. He's a quarterback out of First Coast High School. He was 15 of 21 for 130 yards and 1 passing touchdown. He also added 30 rushing yards. Then I want to close it out with the guy that you heard almost every single episode because he's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the nation. He is 2026 Ben Milliken. He's a quarterback out of Sarasota Christian. He played for Gain Sports. Ben, in a 42-0 win over Babcock, turned in his usual just awesome performance. 16 of 24 for 250 yards and 2 passing touchdowns. So Ben Milliken is another one that has expressed to me he really wants to play, and he doesn't care. He has an offer from Culver Stockton up here in the Midwest. Really trying to get some schools to talk to him. Ben Milliken, 2026 quarterback out of Sarasota Christian. So again, thank you, Chris Harris Jr. Elite, for the shirt. If you want some advertising, send me your stuff. But please, please, please come after these kids. Let's get them some exposure. Let's get them some phone calls, some letters. Go find them on Twitter. If you need their Twitter account, holler at me. I'll get it. Let's get these guys. Some exposure. Okay. And again, please come out to a DR7 tournament and get some exposure. All these coaches, you're more than welcome to show up to these tournaments. Holler at me, and I will point these guys out to you. So, thanks for joining. Bye-bye.